Hi, my name is Rachel Weidenhammer, and today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about growth mindset. And this is specifically what you can do with students in the elementary school classroom, but I would say that a lot of the methods that I'm going to talk about could be utilized K to 12 to help build a growth mindset. So, what is a growth mindset? It's been a buzzword in the education field for over a decade, and growth mindset is defined as a belief that construes that intelligence is malleable and improvable. And students with a growth mindset are likely to learn with a mastery approach and embrace challenges and put effort into what they're learning. So it was a phrase that was coined by Carol Dweck, and she found that students' mindsets, how they perceive their abilities, played a role in their motivation and in their achievement. So even babies have growth mindsets. They fail over and over and over again. They're constantly using their brains with more and more effort. And in a short period of time, they learn to laugh, crawl, walk, talk, control their bodies. So, why is this important for us in teaching and learning? And how can it benefit our students? I pulled this quote from Dweck and some of her colleagues that says that learners with growth mindsets invest greater effort in learning new concepts that are difficult and consequently perform better academically. So, why is it important to build a growth mindset? Well, students are more likely to employ strategies for awareness and understanding in the tasks that they undertake. It affects their motivation, it builds receptiveness to the learning that is taking place, and it also increases their level of achievement. So that leads into this quote from Dweck that says, instead of proving over and over again how good they are, students with growth mindsets actually use that time getting better, which is really the main focus for our learning. So James Anderson is another person that's done a lot of work with growth mindset, and he said our mindset's not an innate part of who we are. We're not born with a certain mindset. We develop our mindset through our experiences, including the messages we receive from others. So that kind of takes me into how can I become a growth mindset teacher? So this visual has a whole bunch of different ideas of what you can do to build growth mindset in your classroom. So I'm going to talk a little bit more in depth about each of these and what I found in my research. So the first is talking to students. What we say to them matters. What do you say to students when things get hard and when they're stuck and they want to quit? And we really need to think about the way in which we're talking to our students and how that can change their mindset. We also want to be careful not to praise their intelligence, but focus more on the effort in which they are putting forth. So this is a chart that has a bunch of different teacher talk sayings that you could use to help you to frame your speaking in that way. Another idea about understanding mindsets is using neuroscience to actually teach kids what happens in your brain and how growth mindset's actually something that can be proven with neuroscience. Another tool is using a variety of children's literature. It can offer rich experience that helps students understand mindset work and the process in which we use to learn. So, this is a group of 6 books you could use in your classroom. Well, in thinking about creating a growth learning environment, students could use something like an e-portfolio to curate artifacts that represents their experiences both curricularly and extracurricularly, reflect on their learning challenges and celebrate achievements, and help develop future goals. Another thing that can happen that they could do to continue to work on a growth learning environment is error reflection, helping students to analyze their performance and develop strategies to overcome difficulties. It's important that they know that struggle is okay and is actually expected. Another interesting quote from Dweck said that when parents have a fixed mindset, they attribute a child's academic success with natural ability rather than effort and strategies. So parents can actually get in the way of what you're trying to do in the classroom. So we need to model as teachers a growth mindset, but we also need to educate our parents so that they understand too that they're setting an example for their student. And last but not least, we really need to think about designing learning experiences. It's important to make sure that we're teaching them strategies and tactics for powering through, that we have clear, actionable learning targets. And ultimately, we need to remember that a growth mindset's not a declaration, it's a journey. As teachers, we can't install growth mindset in students, and we can't expect them to suddenly adopt a growth mindset in all aspects of their lives.